Hello everyone and welcome to your second royal reading today here at MadWorldTarot, Thursday afternoon, Thursday before the Easter weekend. Apprentice Tarot on the tarot deck because I've got the Nine of Pentacles on the cover of that tarot. It's a money card, the independent single lady, financially independent single lady, and I'm going to do a reading based on a Neil Sean story. So we're going to switch the allegedly sign on, and it's all allegedly. And it was a while ago, and he was talking about money and how sheltered Harry has been in his life, growing up as a royal. Everything was done for him, everything was managed for him. He didn't have to worry about everything. He didn't have to learn anything about how the world actually works, and particularly how the financial world actually works. And we heard way back when they bought Mudslide Mansion that Harry didn't know what a mortgage was and had to have it explained, I assume, by the Bank of Pa. He'd never heard of such things. But now Neil Sean tells us that he was so unworldly and, in my opinion, unwise, that he handed the reins to Meghan and Doria, the financial controls, and the two of them run everything. And Neil Sean says that means absolutely everything. Neil Sean told us in this particular video that there is no prenup. There is a mortgage on Mudslide Mansion, but it is not in Harry's name. There are many companies, many Delaware companies, as far as I know, set up by Meghan and Doria, and Harry just co-signs things. He's got no idea what he signs when a piece of paper is stuck under his nose. Sign here, he signs, possibly with a cross, possibly with a crayon, who knows, but he clearly doesn't know. This is allegedly, this is a rumor, and this is just a tarot reading for fun and entertainment. All my opinion, all speculation, just read energy, and we are going to check this. And of course, there is a disclaimer in the box below, and we're going to ask some very pointed questions. We're going to ask about Harry and how sheltered he really is, and whether he's beginning to wake up to what's been going on under his nose. And we're going to ask what's in it for Meghan, and what's she in it for, and what's Doria in it for. We're going to ask about the prenup. We're going to ask about the house, who gets what, and what's the situation around all of that. We're going to ask about a divorce. How would it go for Meghan financially, and Doria? And how would it go for Harry? And then we're going to ask about the royal family. And we're going to ask what the royal family thinks about all of this, because I'm sure they're very well aware of what is going on. And whether they're going to step in at some point. Oh dear, how did that happen? That's weird, but never mind. Whether they're going to step in at some stage. Ace of Cups in reverse is, of course, a devastating emotional blow. In the event of a divorce or someone running away with all the money and going and living and hiding in the Caribbean somewhere, getting lots of plastic surgery. I'm being snarky, I'm being facetious, I'm being silly. It's tarot for fun and entertainment. Whether the royals would step in and save the has-been from his own foolishness. And goodness knows he does seem to need saving from his own foolishness, in my opinion. We have the King of Swords as our underlying energy. That is not Harry's energy at all. We're going to have to do some strategic scooching now. Just a bit. We scooch over here. And over here, and I totter back around to the other side, and coming out of a long fast, and yeah, brain's starting to click into gear again a little bit. King of Swords is all about lawyers and company formation and bankers and intelligence and clarity and, well, fair and wise and all that. I don't know necessarily that what's been going on is fair and wise. Just saying. But it does tell me, I'm getting a kind of a beady eye vibe from that King of Swords. It does tell me that possibly men in grey suits are on this and watching. Those courtiers that Harry disdains so much might just possibly come along and save him at some point. Let's see what's going on. Our underlying energy today is, the Three of Pentacles, and that's for me very much a Harry and Meghan Doria card. in these kinds of scenarios, very much. You can see a collaboration. And we're getting a bit of a sign here vibe from these two. We've got two, and then we've got one ginger person. And the ginger person is actually doing all the work, and the other two are telling him what to do. Don't you think that's interesting? And the card is in reverse. And when cards are in reverse, for me, in these royal readings, it can sometimes acquire a kind of a sinister energy of something rather secretive and even not so fair and wise going on. Just saying, that's my energy reading, the way I read energy in these royal readings, sometimes. So let's look at Harry and see how gullible he actually is. I'm calling this reading Gullible's Travels. Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, there's a rude awakening. A shock. False pride knocked down. I was expecting that kind of energy in the next card down here, but that's him. And how gullible he is. Well, he's been super gullible, but he's had a wake up. He's answered both questions in one card, the Tower. Terrible, terrible shock, catastrophe. I think it's hit home for him that he's handed his financial affairs to people who might not be as financially astute as they claim. There is quite a trail of bankruptcy in the Ragland Markle family. I think both Doria and Thomas Markle have been declared bankrupt, as well as various of the siblings and possibly extended family. So I wouldn't entrust my financial affairs to people with that kind of background. That's just my personal opinion. It looks like Harry has really messed up. I'm trying to squeeze a tear out of my left eye, but I don't think it's going to work. So I was going to ask, is he beginning to wake up to what's going on? I've got the Hanged Man. He might have woken up because we've got the card of perspective. A new perspective when you're dangling there, helpless, disempowered, and he is helpless because he's handed over all his agency to his wife and his mother-in-law. And so he is the Hanged Man. But while he's dangling there, he might have begun to have some thoughts. Maybe someone has encouraged those thoughts, someone who cares about him, and has maybe told him to have a bit of a think and a look around. But I think he's had a terrible shock. Tower card and the Hanged Man. But still, he's incapable of doing anything about it because he's hanging there in limbo, powerless. So let's have a look at Meghan and Doria. Let's see what Meghan's up to. Just generally, just checking for fun and entertainment. What's she up to? Ooh, we've got a breakup card. Relationship imbalance. Codependent. Tension. Definitely the relationship is in big, big trouble. And absolutely relationship imbalance. She's the one with all the power, all the control. She decides what happens, whether he's there, whether he's not there, what happens with the kids, what happens with the money, what happens with PR, what happens with his family, her family. She decides it all and she tells him what to do. She really has emasculated him. I don't think he was ever that alpha, in fact never, but she's taken her scissors and gone snip, in my opinion. So let's see what Doria's up to. Just doing an energy reading, just speculating. What might Doria be up to? Ooh, oh, yeah, the High Priestess. Mystery. That's the voice. That's the control. In my opinion, this is very much my opinion, my speculation of how this dynamic that showed up in the Three of Pentacles in reverse actually works. I think Doria is the one who decides ultimately, who creates the environment, who has the agenda. I think she's the mastermind of this thing. Mastermind is the wrong word, but I'm trying to choose my words very carefully. I think she is the one who's really very powerfully controlling this situation, maybe even just in thought forms. That's how I'm going to phrase that. And you can make of that what you will. Meghan is the one that carries out the orders and is the one that appears to be the dominant partner in the marriage, bullies, bosses, tells what to do, has been, curls in a corner and cries. Doria is the power behind all of this, the mysterious power with all kinds of potentials and abilities and things that we are not going to discuss here, but you can imagine. Okay, so that's that. Let's look at the prenup, or lack of, and what happens to assets in that household. Tell us about all of that. Prenup. Page of Pentacles is a contract, interestingly. Is a contract. So I'm asking about the prenup. Neil Short said no prenup, but that is a contract card. Yes, it's the student card. It is about new projects and skills and messages about finance and all of that kind of stuff. It's negotiations and deals. They might have come to some arrangement that you might not call technically a prenup. But I don't think Harry's finances are as at risk. His finances that he brought into the marriage are as at risk as a bold statement no prenup might indicate. That tells me that I think the royals have protected his assets with some kind of financial arrangement, made some kind of deal with Meghan, but very likely whatever new ventures they embarked on together, Harry has no protection over at all. What about Mudslide Mansion and who owns Mudslide Mansion? It's mortgaged. It's not in Harry's name. It's in the name of some trust fund. We've got Meghan's card in reverse. It's meek and submissive. It's a weakness card, basically. Fears direct confrontation. Harry being frightened of Meghan. Meghan is the strength card because she's the Leo. So I would say that she's the one who controls it. She might be the beneficiary under a trust, all for her. Maybe it's pretend all for the kids as well. I don't know if there were kids around really, and if they are her kids. Cough, cough. Did I say that? Oh, rumors, allegedly, all of that. But strength in reverse tells me her. Again, what I said about cards in reverse and tarot doing these royal readings applies to this card very much. That there might be something a little bit off about this control that she has over the property. And Harry too frightened, too intimidated to ask or to question. All that money I got from the Bank of Power and all that money that I've been paying every month, where has it gone? That kind of question might be taboo in the household. I'm just speculating. Let's look at divorce. What does Meghan get out of a divorce? Neil Sean said, if there is a divorce, Meghan and Doria will get very rich. Will she? And Doria? It doesn't look like it. Does not look like it. Ha ha, as we like to say on this channel. That's the balance card, the temperance card, harmony. You can see the way the two different liquids are being blended in this card. That's why it's about harmony and balance and moderation, mixing and blending. We're in reverse, so we would be dividing and splitting. And we would be going from angelic energy to devilish energy in reverse, of course. But I think that she might find that she tries to make a grab for things and there aren't any things to grab with that energy. That's how it's coming through for me. She might make a really big grab for stuff and the stuff might just go through her fingers with that. An immoderate demand that's knocked down, maybe in court. I know there's a 10-year thing in California, so people speculate she's going to try and do her 10 years in California as the blushing bride of the has-been. she's got a long way to go. She's halfway there. She might get impatient because it's the patience card as well. She might just get impatient. And she might just decide, I'm done. I can't be married to this idiot anymore. Maybe I've found someone else, a billionaire who might shoot me into space or pretend to shoot me into space. We're not sure if that's true. What a strange world we live in. It's very, very strange. Too strange for me to do tarot on the other channel, just by the way, in case you're wondering what happened. It was just too strange. Too difficult to be in that energy. Let's look at Harry. What's Harry going to get out of a divorce? How's it going to go for him? Ooh, not well. Losing control, confidence, giving up. Progress stalled. Car crash for him. Chariot is about achieving your goals, being confident, being in control, driving forward. It's going to be a real blow for him. It's going to really push him off track. It's going to derail him. That's the word I've been looking for. It's going to derail him. It's going to stop him in his tracks. It's going to be ugly. For both of them, it's going to not work out the way they thought. His marriage certainly hasn't gone the way he thought it was, and we've already seen a tower moment over there, which is just, by the way, also a divorce card for me. So we've got, for both of them, Meghan maybe trying to grab more than she's entitled to and being disappointed. Harry derailed, broken, feeling like he's lost everything. All his dreams, all his ambitions have come to naught. Bad for both of them, and let's say that that's probably justice being served quite nicely there. How about the royal family, finally? What do they think of this whole mess? What do they think of what's going on? And we've got the old stress card here. I think they have been very, very worried about it. I think they are still in an ongoing state of deep worry and anxiety about what's going on with Harry and the way he's being controlled, the way his money is being controlled, allegedly by Meghan and Doria. And that's deep worry. That card for me is deep worry. Not, oh well, you know, it'll sort itself out. No, I think they're getting more and more worried as time goes on. I think they might have hoped that, well, maybe the Netflix thing will go brilliantly and they'll make tons of money and they'll shut up and they'll be happy ever after in California, or Meghan will launch all these new projects of hers and at least one of them will do well. But everything that Harry and Meghan touch turns into complete disaster. And so the royals, I think, are deeply worried, which is why I think we've got the King of Swords sitting over here keeping a beady eye on everything. Let's see if they are going to come to the rescue of the has-been when the inevitable happens and things go awry. Well, it's quite an odd card. It's the card I've been talking about all day. Today I've been doing these readings. The financial independence card. I always read it as Meghan's energy more than Harry's energy, because that's her goal for me. Is she wants to be financially independent. She wants to have her own brand and her own identity and her own source of income, so she can ditch the has-been. That's my view of it all. Keep the title, ditch the has-been. Card in reverse tells me that both of them are going to be in a financial pickle, but it's reading as Harry's energy, of course, because the royal family, I'm asking, would they save Harry? This is somebody who needs to be saved, who cannot afford to keep themselves alive, unaffordable luxuries, living beyond their means, too self-indulgent. That's Harry. He hasn't made any plans, he hasn't acquired any wisdom, any insight, any life skills. You know, the things that they teach kids at little, life skills. Harry hasn't learned any of those. The fault of the royal family, it has to be said. So I do think with that Nine of Pentacles in reverse, they're going to have to swoop in and save him from his own recklessness and ego, arrogance and stupidity. My opinion, of course, save him because he can't afford to keep himself and in the way that he believes he should be living, private jets everywhere, all the rest of it. So I do think that there is going to be a bailout there at some point. I don't think they're going to bail out the pair of them. I think they're going to focus on the one and bail out the one. The other one might be given some hush money to go away and shut up forever. Is she capable of shutting up forever? I don't think so. But yeah, it looks like there might be an operation rescue. There has been at some point financially anyway. That old gamekeeper's cottage that I see often in my readings, I think it might be getting a spring clean right now and a bit of a straw mattress made for him and a fire lit. You know the drill. Okay, that's the reading for today. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again tomorrow.